Rock of ages, praise your saving power. Furious, they assailed, but your word failed us. And your word broke the sword when our own strength failed us. Yes, your word broke the sword when our own strength failed us. Rock of ages, let our song praise your saving power. Lord God, Sufganya. Lord God, Sufganya. Happy Hanukkah, 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 happy Hanukkah. Lord God, Sufganya. Lord God, happy Hanukkah, Sufganya, happy Hanukkah. Lord God, Sufganya, Lord God, Sufganya. Happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. Al Hanisim ve'al Hapurkan ve'al Hagiburan ve'al Shemot ve'al HaMilchamot she'asita la'avoteinu bayamim hahem b'zman hazeh she'echianu ve'kibanu ve'higion la'zman hazeh.
Good morning. My name is Oksana Wobyansky, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees of this congregation. Welcome to all of you. The Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Elkhart is a welcoming community encouraging religious freedom, nurturing individual spiritual and ethical growth, celebrating diversity, and promoting a just and sustainable world. If you would like to learn more about this fellowship, please ask anyone wearing a name badge with any questions you may have. You can also check out our website at uufe.org. You are all welcome to join us after the service in the gathering place for coffee and fellowship. For the listening enjoyment of all, we ask you at this time to please set your phones to silent mode. Also, if you need hearing support, please ask for help at the sound desk at the rear of the sanctuary. Thank you. There are no announcements today.
Good morning. First of all, I want to apologize for showing up in the pulpit with jeans on. Apparently, I forgot to pack my dress pants, and I realized that at 9 o'clock this morning. So we come together today from many different places, in distance, in spirit, and in whatever we're carrying inside. Some of us arrive energized. Some of us arrive tired or overwhelmed. And some arrive simply grateful to pause for a little while. So wherever you find yourself on that spectrum, you're welcome here. December can be a complicated month. There's celebration, anticipation, but also stress, memory, and the challenge of having to navigate everything. Worship gives us a moment to step out of the swirl, to breathe, to reflect, and to reconnect with what matters most. So this morning we'll turn to an ancient story, not to escape our world, but to listen for the wisdom it still carries. Wisdom about courage, resilience, and the everyday practice of choosing hope even when circumstances fall short. So take a breath, settle into your seat, and allow this time to meet you just as you are. And now we'll enter into worship together.
In a world where struggle and uncertainty often greet us before the day has even begun, we light this chalice as a reminder of our shared commitment to truth, to compassion, and to the steady, patient practice of hope. May this flame guide us toward clarity, towards courage, and toward one another. Now, if you join me in the unison covenant as printed on your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to dwell in love, and to one another. This is our covenant. Reverend Dan is going to go through hymn number 392 with us, with the Hebrew pronunciation and the words, and then he will lead this. And when we begin to sing, you can please stand. Marva will play it through once, and then we'll sing it twice once we sing, okay?
I am not a Hebrew scholar, but I think I'm pretty close to getting this right. So the words aren't that hard. 392. Hine ma tov umanayim. Hine me tov umanayim. Shevet ahim gam yahad. And that just kind of repeats. So Shevet nahim. Hine me tov umanayim. Shevet ahim gam yahad. Okay? Clear as a bell? Yeah. In the translation, as you can see, how good it is and how pleasant for people to dwell together. Very simple message. Okay, Marva, let's try. Please rise. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet ahim gam yahad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet ahim gam yahad. Hine ma tov, shevet ahim gam yahad. Hine ma tov, shevet ahim gam yahad. headstand. Not bad. Thank you. Please be seated. As most of us are non-Jews, we may not be all that familiar with the story of Hanukkah. We may remember that it has something to do with lighting candles every night for 8 nights, playing with dreidels, eating potato pancakes or latkes. But some of us don't really know why that's important. So today I thought I'd share with you an entertaining but educational video by Miyake that may shed some new light on this ancient holiday. And then we'll follow with a special rendition of I Have a Little Dreidel performed by the Maccabees. So hope you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Maya Bialik, and it's time for our tutorial on the next Jewish holiday that's a-comin'. It's Hanukkah! Yay! Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come, light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather around the table, we'll give you a treat. Sevivon to play with, and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they spread a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Now, maybe you've heard that song, not as catchy as God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen or Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock. Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock. But let's break down Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, backwards.
Flip it and reverse it.
Yes, starting with days long ago. So, Hanukkah takes place in Assyria. Where? Assyria. Huh? Syria? No, not Syria. Assyria. You know, that ancient kingdom which conquered Jerusalem in around 168 BCE. They desecrated the Holy Temple. They renamed it in honor of Zeus. So, yeah. Antiochus Epiphanes, try saying that 5 times fast. He wanted the Jews to be more like the Assyrians, who were basically like the Greeks of the time in terms of things like, you're not allowed to be Jewish. You can't circumcise your kid. You can't study Jewish texts. Bummer for us. Well, not all of us. So we hid, we fought. Story goes that a brave young soldier named Judah and his ragtag friends, who became known as the Hammers,
Stop. Hammer time.
or Maccabees, defeated the army and we got to have our temple back. Yay! But there's these menorahs, candelabras as you Victorian people call them.
Candelabra, please.
And the menorahs are always aflame in the temple, and they use oil to keep them burning. Didn't seem to be enough oil for even one night, and they gotta keep burning, because like that's the thing in the temple, but that menorah burned for 8. Yes, it did. That's days long ago. How about one for each night? They spread a sweet light. Well, we start with 1 candle, and we work our way up to 8. Oh yeah, we use a shamish, or a liter candle, every night. It goes in the middle or on the right of the Chanukiah. Chanukiah, what's that? That's the name for the special candelabra that we use on Hanukkah, which has 9 candle holders. 8 nights, 1 shamish. Got it? Good. While we're playing, the candles are burning low. Candles need to burn by Jewish law for at least 30 minutes after nightfall. Then you can blow them out, unlike Shabbos candles, which you
Cannot blow out.
Sevivon to play with and latkes to eat. Well, Sevivon is the Hebrew word for a funny little top, which in Yiddish we call dreidel. And dreidel is the word for spinning top with 4 sides, each side with a letter that stands for a word that makes a sentence. A great miracle happened there. Are you following me? We eat latkes, or levivot in Hebrew, potato pancakes in English. They're basically hash browns, heavy on the onion, fried in oil because, you know, oil is this holiday's theme. Yo, remember the oil in the temple. Gather around the table. We'll give you a treat. Come get your latkes. Also, let's fry dough in oil. We call those sufganiyot, from the Talmudic word svoga, or sponge. Sometimes they have jelly inside, what some children call a terrible surprise. Come and get them. Let's have a party. We'll all dance the hora. We do like a Hanukkah party because we can actually invite people over, listen to music, we can take pictures, unlike other holidays like Shabbos, which are like, not as much fun. Come light the menorah. Get over here. Don't burn your fingers. Don't burn the house down like Mama once did. Put something under the Hanukkah so that wax doesn't get everywhere.
Woo, that's actually kind of warm. Ow!
Watch the lights multiply the wavelengths of beauty. 8 nights, 8 lights. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah. It is a joyous thing. It's our winter festival. We remember miracles of the post-biblical kind. Miracles happen all around us every day, every night. You know how I know? Pull up a candle. Antiochus Epiphanes, Antiochus Epiphanes, Antiochus Epiphanes, Antiochus Epiphanes, Antiochus Epiphanes.
I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Dreidel, 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 it loves to dance and spin. A happy game of dreidel. Come play now. Let's begin. Thank you. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of wood. And when you're ready, I'll play you if I could. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of wood. And when you're ready, I'll play you if I could. Dreidel, 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 made it out of gold. When it's cold, you are ready. I'ma play it when it's cold. So cold. Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of sand. But when I tried to spin it crumbled in my hand, crumbled in my hand. Crumbled in my hand. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, dreidel I shall play. 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 Oh, dreidel, 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 que te va para mi que. And when it's dry and ready, oh, dreidel I shall play. Dreidel, 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 que te va para mi que. And when it's dry and ready, oh, dreidel I shall play. I shall play. Oh, I shall play. 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 I have a little dreidel. Dreidel, dreidel I shall play. Dun, 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 dun. I had a little dreidel, I made it out of clay. He made it out of clay, he made it out of clay, out of clay. Dreidel, dreidel, play your part. Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel.
Our offering this morning is going to be shared with church community services. So when the offering plates come around, please give as you're willing and able. Marv is going to be playing number 400 if you want to follow along and to get the text of what she's playing. Shalom Havarim is the phonetic spelling, the pronunciation. It's printed in the hymnal, but the real title is on your order of service. But she's going to be playing that while we take the offering. Yeah. We didn't dismiss the children. Are we dismissing the children?
Oh, we are dismissing the children.
Okay, we are dismissing the children. When the Holy Temple was rededicated at the time of the Maccabean liberation battle, only 1 day's worth of oil remained. Yet it burned for 8 days. So we light 8 candles in remembrance. We rededicate ourselves to the miracle of light in a season of darkness, to the miracle of trust in a time of anxiety, to the miracle of hope in a time of despair, to the miracle of faith in a time of cynicism. We rededicate ourselves to the miracle of wholeness in a time of fracture, to the miracle of courage in a time of fear, to the miracle of resistance in a time of oppression, to the miracle of peace in a time of violence. And in a time of hatred, we rededicate ourselves to the miracle of peace, of love. If it's okay, I'm going to ask you to remain seated for this second hymn because it's a long one. And Marv is going to play it all the way through. It's 4 pages in your hymnal. So it's 221 in your hymnal. And it moves along pretty good. So you'll have to fumble with the words a little bit, but we'll get it by the second or third verse. She's going to play it all the way through, and then we're going to sing it with the 3 verses. Okay. candle for the Maccabee children. With thanks their light didn't die. Light one candle, the flame lay endured when their light to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine throughout our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to ever become our foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering, the thing we leaned so long ago. Light one candle for the all we believe in, that anger won't tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with peace as love as an heart. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let it go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly? We keep it alive in that flame. What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry that they've not died in vain? Have we come this far, always believing that justice would somehow prevail? This is the burden and this is the promise. This is why we'll not fail. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through all of our tears. Thank you, that was pretty good.
Allergies are in full force this morning. December is the season of twinkling lights, crowded calendars, and grocery store displays that somehow merge candy canes, snowmen, and inflatable menorahs. So it seems only fitting that we spend some time with the story of Hanukkah today. And let's be honest, for many non-Jews, Hanukkah often looks like Jewish Christmas, right? We picture the candles and the latkes, the presents, the chocolate coins, and the dreidels. It seems festive and bright, and given its closeness to December 25th, we might assume it's one of the biggest Jewish holidays. But it isn't. Hanukkah is actually a minor holiday in Judaism. It isn't in the Torah. It isn't in the Hebrew Bible. The story itself appears in the Talmud and in 1st and 2nd Maccabees, books that aren't in the Protestant or Jewish canon. And many of the traditions most of us associate with Hanukkah gifts, the gelt, the dreidels, they don't appear for at least 1,000 years later, and many not until the 20th century. Think the commercialization of Christmas in the 1950s. Hanukkah took that same ride too. And as Mary Lib Whitney once quipped, Jesus did not play with dreidels. So if Hanukkah isn't Jewish Christmas, what is it? And what on earth does it have to do with choosing hope? Hold that question. Let's start with the story first. Picture the world around 200 BCE. The Jewish people are living under Greco-Syrian rule. Not ideal, but tolerable. As long as they kept their religion quiet and didn't cause trouble, they were mostly left alone. And then came Antiochus. If this were a movie, the lighting would instantly change and the soundtrack would take a very dark turn. Because Antiochus was a tyrant, determined to erase Judaism entirely. He outlawed Jewish practices. He banned reading the Torah. He ordered a statue of Zeus to be erected inside the temple in Jerusalem. The sacred core of Jewish identity was this temple. Anyone who refused to worship the idol was tortured or killed. So finally, in 166 BCE, Antiochus had his army raid the Jewish temple, pillage it, desecrate it, and leave it in ruins. So let's pause that scene for a moment. It's one thing to lose the building. It's another to lose the center of your identity. When Antiochus destroyed the temple, he wasn't only committing violence, he was trying to extinguish a people's soul. And that's where Hanukkah begins, in profound darkness. This is important because hope doesn't emerge when everything is going well. Hope arises when everything in the world, and sometimes everything in our own hearts, says, give up. Hanukkah begins right at that threshold where despair seems logical and hope seems foolish. So now enter an elderly priest named Mattathias and his 5 sons. They were ordinary people living in extraordinary times. And after witnessing the desecration of the temple, something in them said, enough. So they fled into the hills, they gathered others, and they used their knowledge of the land to wage guerrilla warfare against one of the largest armies in powers in the region. And let's be clear, they should not have won. Everything was against them. Numbers, resources, weaponry, political power. There's no strategic reason this story should have turned out the way it did. But against every imaginable odd, against a brutal empire, against fear and exhaustion and hopelessness, they persisted. They chose to resist. They chose to hope. And after 3 years of struggle, they reclaimed Jerusalem and returned to a temple that was broken and desecrated and hollowed out, but still standing. The Maccabees didn't rebuild because they had the resources. They rebuilt because they had hope. And that brings us to the part of the story everyone remembers. As the story goes, the temple menorah, a symbol of God's presence, was supposed to burn continuously in the temple, but the invaders had stolen nearly everything. Well, the Maccabees searched high and low and found only one small jar of consecrated holy oil, 1 day's worth. So now imagine gathering for a rededication ceremony with that one jar. Imagine standing inside the wounded temple, walls cracked, stones blackened, altars overturned. You're exhausted, you're traumatized, unsure of what comes next. And the one symbol meant to convey divine presence has only enough fuel for a single day. So what do? You light it anyway. Not because it makes sense. Not because the math checks out. Not because you're certain of a miracle. Because sometimes hope must be chosen before the outcome is known. The story tells us that the oil burned not for 1 day, but for 8. Long enough for the priest to prepare and consecrate a new supply of holy oil. Now, the number 8 in Jewish numerology symbolizes that which is beyond the ordinary, a kind of infinity, the possibilities that stretch out beyond what we can see. And whether or not we take the miracle literally, the deeper message remains. Hope is what happens when we refuse to let the light go out. Even when the evidence is thin, even when the jar is almost empty. In modern Jewish homes, a Hanukkah menorah, technically a Hanukkah, is placed in the window so others can see it from the street. Each night, another candle is lit. Each night, the light grows brighter. And this, to me, is where Hanukkah meets Unitarian Universalism, and where it powerfully enters this theme of choosing hope. Because whether we realize it or not, we put candles in our windows too. Every time we show kindness, every time we speak truth, every time we stand with someone in their darkness, every time we refuse to be numbed by cynicism, we light another candle. Albert Schweitzer once wrote, "At times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person." If that isn't a Hanukkah message, I don't know what is. Each of us could probably name people who rekindled our flame when we were running on empty, when we were down to our last ounce of spiritual oil. And let's be honest, many of us might be there right now. The world is heavy. Division is everywhere. Oppression is resurgent. Rights once won feel fragile again. Families struggle. Bodies falter. The news is relentless. And sometimes hope feels less like a virtue and more like an act of defiance. But that's the whole point. Hanukkah is not about cheerful optimism. It's about courageous hope, the kind chosen in the face of despair. And this is why the menorah shines in windows, because hope, like light, is meant to be shared publicly, visibly, stubbornly. And there's another layer to this story that resonates deeply with our tradition: religious freedom. The Maccabees didn't just fight for land, they fought for the right to practice their faith without oppression, to read their teachings, to live their beliefs outwardly. Their victory was not about dominance, it was about dignity. So every Sunday when we light our chalice, whether in this sanctuary or on Zoom from our kitchens or living rooms, we make a quiet but profound declaration. We too are free to practice our faith. We are free to gather, free to honor our values, free to build a community grounded in love, justice, and pluralism. This is, in its own way, something of a miracle, especially in a world where so many do not have that freedom. Hanukkah invites us to cherish and protect it. So I want to pause here for a moment and speak personally. When I started to go to seminary, when I decided to go to seminary, I had no idea how I was going to pay for it. No savings, no safety net, no wealthy benefactors hiding in the family tree. But I applied anyway. Not because the plan made sense, it didn't, but because there was something inside me I couldn't ignore. A tug toward ministry, a faint flame inside a nearly empty jar. And when I acted, when I lit that impossible lamp, a path opened up. I received a full tuition scholarship, something I hadn't even dared to hope for. I still had to figure out how to survive those 3 years of school, rent, food, living expenses. But that scholarship was the spark that made everything else possible. And miraculously, the additional funds also fell into place. And I was able to fulfill my calling, though I think I'll still be paying on my student loans well after I am dead. That was the moment I learned that hope is not a feeling. Hope is a choice. A decision to take the next right step, even when you cannot see the whole path. And as the Soul Matters group was discussing, hope involves action. Because you can sit in the chair and navel gaze and hope all you want, but you have to take some kind of forward motion. Many of you probably have your own versions of my story. Times you lit the lamp even though you weren't sure how long it would burn. Times you chose to trust that the next day's oil would somehow be provided. Times you rebuilt your own inner temple after someone or something had laid it waste. Hanukkah reminds us sometimes the miracle comes after the decision, not before it. The very word Hanukkah means dedication. It excuse me. It commemorates the rededication of the temple, but it also invites us to ask, what do we need to rededicate ourselves to now? Not someday, not when life calms down, but right now, in this messy, beautiful, aching world. Maybe we need to rededicate ourselves to justice, or to compassion, or even to rest, or to healing, or to showing up for one another, or to speaking truth in love, or simply to maintain our own little flame when the cold winds of cynicism blow. My colleague, Reverend Lynn Unger, once wrote, "Be bold. Declare victory even when the temple is wrecked. Set lamps in the window. Declare your presence and your loyalties." That's the heart of choosing hope. Not naive confidence that everything will be fine, but the stubborn willingness to light the lamp, to light it anyway, to place it in a window, to refuse to hide our commitments or our compassion, to say with our actions, there will be light here. There will be hope here. There will be love here. And even if we must kindle it ourselves, as we enter this season of menorahs and Advent wreaths, candles and chalices, darkness and growing light, may we remember, hope is not a feeling. Hope is not a mood. Hope is not optimism. Hope is a choice, a practice, a way of living, a way of lighting the lamp, even when the jar looks empty. So may we, like the Maccabees, choose hope in the face of despair. May we, like the first Hanukkah celebrants, kindle the light even when logic says it won't last. May we place our lamps in the window, our compassion, our courage, our commitment for all to see. And may our shared light grow brighter with each passing night. May it be so. So as we prepare to end our service, I'd like to invite you into a simple, quiet ritual. When you entered this morning, you should have received a small stone. There's nothing fancy about it. It's ordinary, everyday stone. But this morning, they're going to become reminders. Hanukkah teaches that hope doesn't begin with certainty or abundance. It begins with a decision and a choice. A choice to believe that one small act, one small flame, one small effort matters. So I invite you now to take out your stone. Hold it in your hand. Feel its weight. And let it represent one gentle commitment you're willing to carry into the days ahead. A commitment to choose hope in some way. You're going to try better empathy or kindness or speaking out. Whatever that is brewing inside of you, what you can commit to. And then when you're ready, take one of the paint pens that are circulating around and just write one word to remind you of your commitment to choose hope. Maybe it's by practicing kindness, compassion, generosity. Maybe it's volunteering or participating in a social justice activity. Maybe it's just committing to remain courageous in these uncertain times. Whatever speaks to you, go ahead and write it on your stone. I'll give you a minute or so, because I don't think there's enough pens to go around for everybody. Now you can keep this stone, keep it in your pocket, place it on your desk, set it near your bedside, somewhere where it can whisper to you during the week. And may it whisper to you, you can choose hope today. Mostly done? Okay. So now we'll rise and embody our spirit for hymn 95. There's more love somewhere. But since this service is about hope, we'll only sing verse 2. There's more hope somewhere, but we'll sing it 3 times. Barbara will play it once through before we sing. Please. And we have a final video before we extinguish our chalice. It's a wicked Hanukkah. Hope you enjoy it.
This year has changed our history. We'll never be the same. Today it feels like everything we thought we knew has changed. But we still count our blessings, remembering we were freed. It's time to shine our light and live our lives proudly. We know we'll thrive, defining destiny. We won't stand it said so. We had to hide our faith until we rose up from the throes. We Jews were not afraid of fighting back against the odds. 'Cause what is life if you can't put your trust in God? And we would rise defiant Maccabees. We won the fight, defiant Maccabees. They never bring us down. Hanukkah, we celebrate Hanukkah. For each night from 1 to 8, we illuminate. Dreidel spinning skills us down. We say all the proper prayers and have gifts to share. Remember, it's the thought that counts. 'Cause it's Hanukkah, miraculous Hanukkah. Ma'usur Yeshuati helped us beat the Greeks. Nes Gadol Hayabo, well, Sham. And that is why we want to have a happy Hanukkah. That's what we done Hanukkah. Now Antiochus was the Jewish nemesis. He invaded Israel with his fellow Hellenists. The guy was basically a Greek supremacist, a colonizer. We threw out his idols. That's how we got to Hanukkah. It's all about Hanukkah. We'll feed you some oily foods. What a festive mood. I'm sure every Jew'd agree. Have a happy Hanukkah. We're free. La la la. If you wanna come celebrate this Hanukkah with me. So if you care to join us, look to the candlelight as we commemorate. We stand together, Yisrael Chai. And in the face of challenge, think of the Maccabees, how they persisted, overcame till we were free. Spread your light, defining destiny. A crazy nice defining destiny. 'Cause freedom's what it's all about. No terror or Antiochus, no enemy there is or was, is ever gonna bring us down. Wish you a happy
So I invite you to join me in extinguishing our chalice. Words are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. As we leave this place, may we carry with us the quiet courage to choose hope. Not because the world is easy, but because our presence within it matters. May the small light each of us tends grow steadier in the days ahead. May it guide our choices, soften our hearts, and remind us that resilience is born from a simple act of love. Go in peace, go in compassion, go in hope. And may the hope you carry become a blessing to the world.